New poll numbers out on Trump's Syria attack from the Washington Post and ABC, and it's pretty sad. So let's take a look here. When it comes to the Democrats, 37% support Trump's Syria strikes. 38% supported it under Obama. The Republicans, 86% support Trump's strikes. 22% supported it under Obama. Okay, so in 2013, basically the exact set of facts were presented to us. We had Assad allegedly doing a chemical attack against his people. So Obama said, that is a red line and we are not going to tolerate it and we are going to go in now. And the American people went, fuck you. We don't want you to go in and we don't even necessarily believe you about what you're saying happened. So overall, back in 2013, only 30% of the American people supported an attack on Syria. Only 30%. So again, that's a giant fuck you to the military-industrial complex and all these interventionist wars. And oftentimes they're propaganda. You know, they lied about Iraq and they lied repeatedly. Oh, he was attached to Al-Qaeda. No, he wasn't. Oh, he was buddy-buddy with Osama bin Laden. No, he wasn't. Oh, he had weapons of mass destruction. No, he didn't. And now we're supposed to believe Assad, chemical attack on his people, when we know that the rebels have used chemical weapons too. You know that, right? So, you know, this idea of it's our place, we got to go fight. And maybe we wrap up the other 7 interventions we're doing before we take another one on. Just a thought. And maybe we don't get in the middle of a civil war where we admit we don't like both sides. The U.S. government says we hate Assad, terrible dictator, murderous asshole. But we also hate the rebels because most of them are jihadists, which is true. Okay, so why the fuck would you get involved? But they want to get involved. So Obama drew the red line, then he had to back away from the red line, and his dodge was, well, ask Congress. If Congress approves it, then we'll do it. And Congress didn't vote on it, because if they did and they voted for it, well, then you got another incident like Iraq where people can point back to it later and say, look, Congress went along with it. So Obama basically stayed out, didn't bomb Assad, but he funneled arms, and weapons, money to the rebels. So now fast forward to today, exact same set of facts. You have Assad allegedly doing a chemical attack, which, by the way, is weird because he gave up his chemical weapons 2 years ago. How does that work? Remember, it was very public. You had John Kerry meeting with a Russian official, and it was a public meeting, and he said, the Russian official said, is there anything that he could do to not get attacked by you, talking about Assad? And Kerry was like, yeah, he could give up all of his chemical weapons, but he's not going to do that. And then he did that. So he gave up his chemical weapons. He basically had already won the war. But yeah, he did a gratuitous chemical attack on civilians. So, same set of facts. Assad allegedly does a chemical attack against his own people. And then Trump decides, oh yeah, we're going to do it. Even though I said a million times we shouldn't do it in 2013 on Twitter, very publicly. But now they go and do it. And so today, right after Trump did the attack, by the way, no warning to Congress, none to us, the people, he just did it. Which is crazy. I mean, did we elect a dictator? That's how it works? But he did it, and then the polls came out after. 51% of the American people support it. Now, some people might say, hey, it's a majority, so, you know, hey, it is what it is. But look at historically how popular wars are when they happen. So in Afghanistan and Iraq, it was over 80%. I think either Iraq or Afghanistan was over 90% approval rating to do the war. This is 51%. Which means he didn't do like a huge propaganda effort and then do the war. He just was like, yeah, attack. So for it to be 51% right when it happened, and people get a sense of like when there's a war that initially launches, people feel like, I don't want to feel like I'm not patriotic. So yeah, war, great. But now that's tanking even more and more and more, and you're going to be right back to about 30% very soon. But where did almost all of the change in the number come from? Because under Obama, the idea was 30% popular. Under Trump, now it's 51%. Where did that change come from? Well, there's your answer. Again, under Trump doing the Syria strike, 37% of Democrats agree with it, which, by the way, is pathetic. Those Democrats are rubes. Well, Trump is the thin-skinned buffoon, and he's crazy, and he's impulsive, and we shouldn't trust him with weapons, but he should use the weapons and get us in another war that might escalate with Russia and lead to World War III. Good idea, do that. Be ISIS's Air Force. We love that. But it was 37% of Democrats support Trump doing it. 38% supported Obama doing it. So at least they're consistent, even though I disagree with them. But the Republicans, only 22% under Obama said it's a good idea, and 86% say it's a good idea for Trump. I mean, that's a joke. What this shows is these people do not think about the world and do not think about the individual issues where they say, okay, what do I think about the minimum wage? What do I think about abortion? What do I think about tax policy? They don't do that. They just go, what's my team doing? Yeah, is my team on this side of this issue? Then I guess I'm on this side of this issue. Yeah, but wait a second. You go back just a few years and, your team was on the other side of the issue. So maybe evaluate the issue on its merits. No, I go wherever my team goes. If they flip-flop and completely change their position, I change my position too. Well, then don't get mad at me when I call you a stupid person, because that's how a stupid person acts. It's the blind leading the blind. It's this easy to get you to support an offensive war against a country that didn't attack us? So you have Daddy Trump is in favor of it, so now I'm in favor of it. What a joke you are. Now, by the way, I'm ranting here against the people who flipped. So it was 22% who supported Obama doing the same thing. Now it's 86%. But to be clear, there are many Trump supporters who said, no, this isn't what we voted for you for, because Trump's rhetoric on Syria was the exact opposite on the campaign trail. He's like, no, I'm not going to get involved. Yeah, sure, Assad's a bad guy, but he is fighting ISIS, and we're just going to stay out. Why would we get involved in that? So now he flipped on it. So there were some prominent Trump supporters who said, yeah, I'm done. Mike Cernovich disagreed with Trump on this issue when he's a Trump bootlicker. Paul Joseph Watson did. Ann Coulter did. So even though you have many, many hypocrites who don't care in any way about the actual issues and just blindly follow their dear authoritarian leader, some of them maintain just a wee bitty bit of integrity and said, nah, I disagree on this one. And yes, I'm about to go vomit because I just insisted that Ann Coulter had a little itty bitty bit of integrity. She doesn't really. But at least on the issue of Syria, she was somewhat consistent.